Hello there, we are Emma and Steve from Showhomesonline and New Homes Historian, and we thought we would do this little Q&A session. We're going to start doing them once a month, just to give you a little bit more information about what we do and where we're at with things, because we're getting so much feedback from you guys, our viewers, that we thought we'd try and answer some of your questions, because there's so many on our YouTube channel and comments that you're leaving for us that it's just immense. It's blown us away, hasn't it?
So it's, it's important that we speak to you and address any sort of questions or comments that you've made. So what we're going to try and do is go through some of the comments and stuff that you've put, and we'll try and answer them. So one of the first questions we've had is, what type of camera do we use? Well, we actually use a GoPro camera.
Currently.
Currently. And the only reason we do that is because it's got the widest field of view. The trouble is with normal cameras is, you can't get the whole room in, and you do get a little bit of that fisheye effect on it. But only a few people have said about that. And that's kind of what we use really, and it is the best way of filming. We are kind of looking at different ways of filming now, and we've just invested in a 360-degree camera now, so that means when you go into the room and we video in it, you'll actually be able to scroll around on YouTube and actually look at the whole room in one go. So that's going to be quite exciting for us. So we'll be trying that out.
And obviously we'll be very interested to know what you think about that once we trial it on some new videos.
Yeah,
won't we?
That's it. Yeah. So I'm just looking, because we've got the question board here. The next question is, we get lots of asked questions.
We often, every day, we get viewers asking us if we can go to particular developments, and they could be anywhere in the country. And while that's what we ask you to do. We ask you to say to us, right, where would be fabulous? Where could we go and look? Where are there fantastic show homes? So keep doing that. Obviously, there's only two of us, and the country is massive, and there are literally thousands of developments going on at any one time. You can have over 1,000 developments in one county.
Yeah, that's it.
So in the UK, there's probably, I don't know, 80 to 100,000 developments going on. Whether it's big developers, small developers, because obviously big developers can have multiple house building projects going on in any one area.
And we're based in Shropshire, so obviously the bulk of a lot of what we've done is in the Shropshire area and out into the West Midlands. But whenever we're in different areas, we do choose to go to Milton Keynes, etc., growth areas. And wherever in their area, we'll try and do a show house.
And that's an interesting point, isn't it? Is how we choose where we go next, because we do have a schedule of places that we're going to view. And one of the first things we consider is developers that have asked us to come and look at their development, and we do get a lot of that nowadays. Developers are in contact with us all the time, asking us to go and view particular places, and that's always very exciting. So we try and accommodate that where we can. Next, we try and go on recommendations that you guys have given us where possible, and then after that we try and look, because we're on social media all the time, we're looking for those really special developments that are really interesting, cutting edge, and where it's kind of feasible for us to get to, really, isn't it? Where we can go and look at lots of other things at the same time, because we're always doing more than one thing at once. So there's many things that we have to consider when we're planning our viewing schedule, and then how we can bring that to you guys.
A lot does go into it, because we're actually driven by you.
Yeah.
One of the next questions we've got is, why do we not film the gardens? And that's
we get asked that question every single week.
Yeah.
And the simple answer is often the doors are locked.
Yeah.
And we can't get outside. It's as simple as that.
And a lot of it's to do with their own developers' health and safety and stuff. Within the confines of a home, it's reasonably safe. But when you've got decking and stuff like that, I think developers are covering their own back. On some special developments, if the garden is exceptional, then I will try and ask them if we can maybe go outside and have a look.
And sometimes developers don't do the garden. We do see that sometimes.
Some really plain gardens.
Yeah, not every developer will have a landscape garden.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just grass and
although we have seen some really interesting gardens, haven't we, over the time.
with
you
some
know.
lovely features. So we'll either try and look at them from the kitchen or the dining room, whatever's at the back, or the lounge, and then we try and get a look from upstairs
Yeah.
so that we can see the layout of the garden. I think it's really nice. But of course, the garden will also be individual to that show home.
Yeah.
So whatever house you end up buying will have a different garden.
And in some cases, you know, gardens are made to look a lot bigger because when it's like there's 2 or 3 show
Multiple
homes,
show homes.
they take the fence out between them and
Yeah.
it's all one, so you don't really get the idea of what each.
It gives you quite a different perspective of what you're actually getting, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next question we've got is, why do developers choose certain show homes? Now, we tend to find, like developers like Persimmon, they tend to have just one show home.
Yeah.
And developers like Taylor Wimpey and Bovis tend to use the same show homes.
Yeah.
Over and over
we're talking
again.
about house types, aren't we?
Yes.
Because developers will have a portfolio of house types that you buyers can choose from. And there could be 30 or 40 house types in that portfolio, or even more.
And that's what we're actually trying to do, is gain a portfolio on YouTube of all the different house types so everybody gets a broad idea. For instance, Bovis Homes, they tend to use the Canterbury and the Chester quite a lot, in ample 4-bed and a 5-bed and a safe vault. You know, they're mainstream house types, so you know they sell a lot of those houses, so you know they're only going to show you what sells really and what they what they want you to.
Well, I think that's the case with some developers. Others will choose a standard 3 or a 4-bed that's very popular in their range, but they'll only have 1 or 2.
I don't think there's any set quota to developers. I think I mean I've been on developments where there's been two 2-bedroom homes, 2 3-bedrooms, or even a 5-bedroom. You know.
And that's great for us because we never know often what we're going to find, do we?
No.
I mean, we try and do our research before we get there, and it makes us aware that we don't always need to duplicate those house types on the channel. And where possible, we try not to, even though they can have slight variations in that house type from development.
They do actually, even though we've been in countless Bovis Canterburys, everyone has got a different feel, hasn't it?
Yeah.
No.
But then I've seen Taylor Wimpey house types that have been completely different on different sites.
Yeah.
It just depends where you go, what the region is doing, and what type of housing is required in that area.
But we will definitely try and bring you some more unique house types if we possibly can.
Yeah, and it makes it interesting for us to try and have as much variation for you guys as possible.
So Emma, the next one. What's about me?
Yes, well, we get asked quite a lot. It's quite a particular question. It's what makes you qualified to talk about houses? What do you know?
Yeah. Well, actually, a viewer this week had said something really nice about me, saying I was quite knowledgeable and stuff about houses and they trust what I say. Me, myself, I don't know if many of you know, but I run another website called The New Homes Historian where I actually, do interviews and stuff like that on new homes. I've been into new homes since around about 1987. That was when I was a kid, when I saw my first show home. And I have gained a collection of hundreds of thousands of different house designs from past and present developers. So when I see a house type, like for instance the viewers commented on the Red Row one, I can actually give you information of where that house type's come from and how it's evolved over the years. And you know, maybe it's got better, maybe it's actually got worse, but I'm able to do that. And I have that knowledge, and I bring that to Showhomesonline. And I know about the houses we're reviewing. I know the history of them.
We can actually go anywhere in the country and look at any development built within the last 30 or 40 years. Steve will know who built it, when it was built, all the house types on that development. How he's got all that information in his head, I don't know, and I haven't got it in my head, but he has. So when we stand in front of a show home and Steve is saying, right, this house type comes from such and such, and the company has gone through these changes, these mergers, this is where it's all come from, you know, these house types were brought from that collection or that portfolio, he knows his stuff, and he knows exactly where it's come from.
Yeah.
And that's what informs us to pass that information on for to you guys about what you're buying and what you're looking at.
So what about you, Emma?
I don't know. But I would say I've had...
What do you bring to the table?
Well, I'm a garden designer, so when it comes to looking outside, I know what I'm looking at in terms of a good garden and a bad garden. I've had a really steep learning curve in learning about house types. I can pretty much now look at recent portfolios and tell you some of the house types. Obviously I know all the ones that we reviewed, and I can look at different developments and can pretty much tell you who's built them now.
I think
in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think you bring warmth to the reviews, really, because you know you love interior design, don't you?
And that's the designer in me, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's what. And we tell you, we say what we see, don't we? And you know.
And also, I've bought and sold a lot of houses over the years. I've raised families. I know what works with a house. Well, I certainly know what worked for a house for me. And I can just look at aspects of the house and see if it looks good, if it's a good design, if it's inspired design. Just general comments, really. But I also think I'm just an average woman who looks at how a house functions.
Yeah. Just
like you guys would when you're walking around, seeing if it will suit your requirements, your families, your setup.
And that's it. We don't sing to anybody's tune, not any developer. You know, we work very closely with them, but we pretty much, you know, every review is out there with the rest. And, you know, some have got better figures, viewing figures than others. In actual fact, we are not the critics, because we get a lot of criticism for us promoting house builders from a lot of people, you know, who are disgruntled buyers. And we're not there, we're not unfortunately there to police that we...
No, it's not down to us to inspect the quality of the houses that you're buying. That's down to you guys. You're going to put your money on the table, so you need to know what you're buying and do your own homework. We're just showing you the different houses that are available and what developers are selling.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
That's it.
We're interested in the house types, well Steve is particularly, and what developers are doing, so we're just bringing those
and what we're actually doing, and you know, if you wanted to look at houses built within the last 50 years, there is nothing available anywhere.
Yeah.
And I am creating the future archive of architectural house design now. Yeah. That's what we're doing, for everybody to see, you know.
And also, we are in the middle of a huge housing transformation in this country. There's so much development and building going on that it's a great time to be looking at houses and what's out there, isn't it? And there is every type of house for every type of budget, and we'd like to look at them all, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we need more. We need more bungalows and more apartments, don't we?
Yes.
The next thing we're going to look at is House of the Month. Okay, so each month we are going to do the Q&A session. So this is for January last month.
Yeah.
And a House of the Month. Now, what I think when we went to to Sussex, and we went to Wickhurst Green, the countryside properties house type, especially the Wells, a big 5-bedroom detached house. That was a beautiful house.
It blew us away.
Yeah. You know, and it was so unexpected. I mean, through that day we'd been doing some quite ordinary houses, and then when we went into that, it was incredible.
Every house in that little show village was just awesome.
Yeah.
And also we had a look around the development, the wider development, some of the parts that had been finished, and it was absolutely beautiful. Yeah. We saw houses there that we haven't seen anywhere else, didn't we?
Some like New England style ones.
Just amazing.
You know.
So definitely our House of the Month for January is the Wells house type.
And that's Elysian Fields, and that's Wickhurst Green, West Sussex. And
if you haven't seen the video, it's on our channel.
Check it out.
It's fantastic.
We've got a countryside properties playlist for that. And the next thing, this is the final thing before we shoot off, it's future proposals of what we're planning to do. Obviously we're trying to pioneer and try to make these videos, you know, we don't want them to be flash corporate videos. That's not what we are. But you know, we are just Emma and Steve, simple as that. Now, you know,
if you want flash videos, just look at the developers' websites.
And I think that's why you guys come to us.
They're very polished corporate videos are on there for everybody to see, and they're great if you want precise information, although we try and be as precise as we can.
Yeah.
But obviously we're only human.
Yeah. We've been adding, it's really important that on the video you look at the description box below.
Yeah.
It's just a little button, you just push it down. And all of that, I'm adding room sizes, all information about the cost, the price of the house, the square footage, all of that information is in there, links to the developer.
But bearing in mind that that information will be specific to that development,
Yeah.
and particularly with the price of houses, will vary wherever you are in the country. So just bear that in mind, that if you want those exact figures and info for wherever you are in the country, and we'd like to really know that as well, when you're going to put a comment on, or you're going to email us about something, let us know whereabouts you are, because we're really interested in the demographic of our viewers.
Yeah, you know, it's really important that you guys, you know, communicate with us and tell us this, that, you know, go on our Facebook page, use our Twitter, speak to us and communicate. We're not faceless corporate, we're human, and we will respond to you and talk to you, yeah.
We really love it.
You know, we've got a little bit of a fan club going on, and we're really grateful for that.
And that's just one other thing to quickly mention is Facebook and Twitter, actually, just to give you a little bit more detail. Particularly on Facebook, developers love Facebook, and every day I manage our Facebook page and I try and scrape together, and it's a big job, believe me, all of that media information that developers are putting on there. So we're giving you one place, which is Showhomesonline at Facebook, Showhomesonline UK on Facebook. And it just brings together every day loads and loads of information about developments all over the place. Developments even that we're not even going to visit because there's just not enough hours in the day or weeks in the year.
Well, you can find all those links. You can find all the links on our website, www.showhomesonline.com. But as I say, we're, you know, future proposals, we're improving the videos. I'm working on some new labels at the moment to go on there and trying to smooth it all out a little bit. We're also, you know, looking at going to new areas, like we're proposing Milton Keynes and a lot of the other little villages. I mean, I'd like to get over to Cambridge. There's some really contemporary developments going up there.
And I think further up north as well. Yeah. We'd like to take a trip up there and see what's about.
That's it, yeah.
So keep on telling us where we should go and look, because obviously when we get those messages through YouTube, we then follow it up, we look at the websites and we find out exactly what you're telling us about, and we love it.
I mean, our actual videos are performing much better than the developers' videos, and you guys can make this into something quite amazing, you know. And we're not in it because we want to earn thousands and thousands of pounds, you know. We're not an advertisement agency. We love it because we do it because we love houses.
And just to give you a little bit of info about our viewers, we are viewed thousands of times every day.
Yeah. What's our last total?
Oh, we've passed 250,000 now.
That is surreal in itself, you know. We never thought it would end up like that.
But we've got you guys to thank for it.
Yeah, we definitely have. And just finally, we'd just like to say that there is a channel appeared on YouTube not long ago. Called Showhomes Northwest. We believe it's a bogus account. I'm not sure the reason why, but obviously, you know, what we want to say is that is nothing to do with us whatsoever.
It's not us.
You know,
we've only got one channel.
Yeah, and that's the way it is.
Busy.
Well, until at the end of February.
Yeah, we'll do another one then.
Yeah.
And if you've got any questions that you'd like us to answer, let us know in the meantime and we'll add it to our list.
Okay, folks.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.